I want you to picture something. You're in the Warsaw Ghetto. Outside, there's starvation, disease, the constant looming threat of deportation. But right here, inside this little theater, a cabaret show is happening. This isn't just a show. It's this unbelievable little bubble of art, of defiance, of pure human spirit, smack in the middle of hell. This is the story of how they survived. This line comes from the cabaret's host, a man named Isaac Sandberg. And let me tell you, he was not exaggerating. At this place, the Melody Palace, humor was a weapon. And telling the wrong joke, that was a crime punishable by death. So yeah, laughter was their lifeline, but it was also a death sentence.
You see, for the host Isaac Sandberg, the Melody Palace wasn't just a stage. It was a sanctuary. It was a place where, just for a couple of hours, the absolute horrors of the ghetto could just disappear. His philosophy was simple, but so profound. If we don't laugh, the Grim Reaper is going to laugh for us. Laughter was a form of sabotage. So how exactly do you fight back with jokes? Well, this cabaret specialized in what we'd call gallows humor and just razor-sharp political satire. But this was about so much more than getting a laugh. It was about holding on to their dignity, and it was about taking apart their oppressors piece by piece with intellect.
And this is the part that is just mind-blowing. The risk they were taking was immense. Every single punchline was a gamble with their own lives. Let me just walk you through a quick sketch from the play. It shows you the incredible guts these artists had.
Okay, so the scene is set up like a mock interrogation. You've got an actor playing Hitler, and he's confronting a Jewish performer. You can just feel the tension in the air.
And here it is, the twist. By adding and bakers, the performer just completely exposes how absurd it is to blame an entire group of people for all the world's problems. It's genius. So Hitler, who basically represents the entire Nazi mindset, walks right into the trap. He questions the one illogical part of the statement, totally missing the bigger, ridiculous point. And boom, there it is, the punchline that flips the twisted logic of hate right back on itself. With one simple question, the entire Nazi ideology is just shown for what it is, completely baseless and ridiculous. It's an absolute masterclass in defiance. Now check out this next joke. This one attacks the regime's methods head on. It's openly mocking the Gestapo's brutality, their infamous ability to get a confession out of anyone or anything, apparently. I mean, it's devastatingly funny, but it's also chillingly accurate. But, the cabaret wasn't only about laughter. It also had to give a voice to the kind of sorrow that jokes just can't touch. The music they played created this incredible space for shared grief and for longing, and it really paints a much deeper, more emotional picture of what life was like in the ghetto. This is a verse from a song called Freiling. It's this heartbreaking tango that was sung by Maricia Eisenstadt, who they call the Nightingale of the Ghetto. The song itself was actually written by a man in another ghetto right after his wife died. It's all about how spring is arriving, but it's not bringing any joy, just this deeper ache for a loved one who's gone. It's such a powerful expression of personal grief in the middle of a collective tragedy. And beyond the songs, that stage also held these moments of incredibly intense drama. One of the absolute most powerful pieces in the play is a monologue that was inspired by Bertolt Brecht, and it's called Just a Jewish Woman. So in this monologue, you have a woman who had for a long time kind of ignored her own Jewish heritage, and she's explaining her decision to leave her non-Jewish German husband. This line right here just perfectly captures that paradox of persecution, how it can actually forge an identity that you might have once taken for granted. And this, wow, this just brilliantly illustrates her final choice. She's leaving the relative safety of her marriage, not just to survive, but to reclaim her soul. She chooses her own humanity over a life of constant, soul-crushing humiliation. It's just a profound statement on what it really means to live. The artists of the ghetto, they were absolute masters of adaptation. They would take these famous, well-known stories and just twist them into these powerful commentaries on their own reality. It was a brilliant form of intellectual sabotage. Look at this. They took maybe the most famous line in all of Shakespeare and completely reframed it for their own existence. The big philosophical question of to be or not to be becomes the raw, immediate, and brutal choice of to survive or not to survive. And the monologue doesn't just stop there. It actually transforms Hamlet's dilemma into the debate that was tearing the ghetto apart. Do we take up arms and fight back, or do we get on the trains? It's just a stunning example of using classic art to try and process an impossible present. So, when you put it all together, what is the ultimate takeaway from this incredible story of resistance? Well, it really comes down to one final defiant act.
Hey, remember that quote from the beginning about literally dying from laughter? Well, that wasn't a metaphor. This is the number of people a special Nazi court sentenced to death. Their crime? Telling a joke against the regime.
The irony is just staggering, isn't it? The Nazis were so threatened by humor that they made telling a joke a capital offense. In the darkest way imaginable, the host was right. This really was the best, most tragic joke of them all.
And here it is, the final resounding message from the cabaret's host. This is the heart of the entire play. It's this declaration that while brute force can destroy bodies, it can never, ever extinguish the human spirit or art or the power of words. The biting satire, the heartbreaking songs, the defiant reimagining of Shakespeare, everything we've just talked about here, it's really just a sliver of the incredible story that's captured in this play.
To truly experience the depths of this courage, to hear all the jokes, to feel the heartbreak in the songs, and to witness the full power of this incredible intellectual resistance, you really have to read the play itself. The full script, which was written by Lazaro Droznis, is available right now. It's an incredible testament to the artists who fought back with the only weapons they had, their wit, their words, and just an unbreakable will to remain human. You can find Cabaret in the Warsaw Ghetto on Amazon, and we've put the direct link for you right in the description below.